Racism did not originate during latter-day slavery. Hello, people. Skywalker here with a new light coming from the darkness. I hear some people going around positing an argument that needs fixing. I see them as people that have great and positive intentions, but at the same time, the good intentions they have is failing for true foundation. Let me explain. I have heard these white people before, starting from an elderly woman. Their intention is to nullify the concept of racism. However, in nullifying that concept, they come upon a channel that would nullify much of the black man's history and sufferings. They come upon a false claim that the concept of race prejudice began at the more current times of racism and it started in the West. Not only is this untrue, but it is very disingenuous. The elder woman that started it also comes with a very low blow, conniving argument. She claimed that if the black man was to receive any reparations, then the Indians must also receive. Who the F are the Indians? Go talk with them. Why were the Indians the first to be called niggers? They, they hide the true images of what things were so that they can swing the, the lies upon it. The Indians were the same aboriginals. Many of the Amerindian Indians still have their original black skins. And when they told the white man that they came to the West, even to America, and saw the black man, they also meant that they too were black. How and why? Because those that were already whited out preserved their own lives by association. They associated with lighter skin tones. Indians themselves have stated that they deliberately avoided the notion that they were black to the white man. This white woman is deceitful. She is a historian, so she knows the lies. And these are the things that white people will do. My friends, go ahead and hit the like button now for the algorithm. Remember to subscribe to stay in touch with the movement. In AD 70, the last warning against the blacks in Palestine was that they had to leave Palestine as it was now a state of Rome. Those that were not out by a certain time suffered KKK type slaughters and crucifixions. Was that act of prejudice recent? Wasn't it racism? They whited out Egypt and now they are telling the indigenous Egyptians that they drove off out of sight into the wilds that they are not the Egyptians, but these children of Europe are. In recent times, they even took the black artifacts and hid them all over Europe. They come into the inheritance. They come into the inheritance of the children of the Most High. Then they told the black people that they are not the Jews and that Jesus was white. This white woman knows what she is doing, and that's why her unity is nothing but a trap. To unite or be in solidarity with her and her movement is only a trap, and this is what white people always do. It is similar to the following. He uses the tricks as a means to exonerate her people who are white. In Germany, there were black people that went there like 2,000 years ago after the desolations against the blacks that were enslaved and colonized in Palestine and then driven out of areas that the whites turned into European enclaves. To claim the legacy by step means, as they do with Israel, with Egypt, in the front regions of India, and which they began to do in South Africa. In fact, they are not done with South Africa yet. It is why this guy from England is there as we speak, seeking to separate blacks from white and build a white enclave. They always build these enclaves on the legacy and culture of the indigenous and then claim themselves as that people. Eventually, they would say the South African whites are indigenous. Then then the white woman who claims to be doing good could say that if the black South Africans should get reparations, then the light skinned ones deserved it too. Whatever names they would call them, maybe they would call them Shindians. The same thing in South Africa would be the same scenario with the Amerindians. The Amerindians know that they were never a white people. Biting out was a white man's strategy. That's why he named the Bible after his sexually assaulting testicles that helped to change the image of history. With the Israelites, the black people that were given refuge in Germany over 2,000 years ago because of grace given to Judah Hanasi became powerful in Germany. In the case of the Israelites, the black people that were given refuge in Germany over 2,000 years ago because of grace given to Judah Hanasi became powerful in Germany and started trade and the banking system, which they literally ruled. They had many white servants and every now and again brought black brothers from Africa. Then Hitler got mad and claimed they were bastardizing his race. He claimed the men were going out looking for white women, but it was not just so. The women were looking for wealth and power to associate with. Plus, they wanted to be close to the Bible people. Hitler genocided the few thousand black Jews and then started on their mulatto offsprings, which were even in greater numbers than the full black ones. This was because they lived in Germany and not Africa. Moreover, the servant associated themselves as Jews, but they said Jewish, meaning not really, but by association. Hitler wove a spin by not documenting the killing of the real black Jews. He made it appear as if these Jews were 6 million white folks. Then he gave reparation to those people that claimed that they were Jews, but not exactly. They were white. What was the reparations? To go and occupy lands in Palestine in the name of these black Jew people on behalf of Europe. They would claim the birthright in Palestine based on the fact that it was the black man's place before Domitian or Titus ordered them out. Plus, there were stories in the Bible of Israel occupying lands down there. What it truly was is actually an enclave to conquer Africa by having people on ground to move step by step when called upon. The empowered so-called Israel, they empowered so-called Israel with support and technology and posited them as an independent nation led by white people like Kissinger. However, it was a mere arm of the US. Israel is a covert US state. These are tricks that white folks hide behind. But we are black and we cannot trust every white person who comes with stories about history. Many black people ruin Many black people run behind this woman and ruin themselves and do not see what she is taking from them. I will open your eyes though. She is taking more than 2,000 years of tribulations at the hands of the white man out of our history, so we cannot claim it. How? There is evidence of racism spanning as long as the white man appeared in the East as a Germanic group. They came as a people that just appeared and nobody knew them. That's how they came, right? And the racism started as long as the white man appeared in the East as a Germanic group of people that became real live body snatchers, stealing every identity, starting with that of the Aryans that taught them about horses and the black Caucasus priests that taught them science, reading, and all these things. So they call themselves Aryans and they call themselves Caucasians. The Caucasians they destroyed by genocide in order to be uncontested, just like they tried to do in Jamaica with the Taino Indians. But the Jamaican, meaning those that were marooned, were already there. So the plan backfired, although they still want us to believe that we all came as slaves. India was attacked thousands of years ago at the beginning of the Thousand Years' War that is still going on. It was set up and contained by applying racism. Racism was also used in Japan when these Ugandan type people were subjected in Japan, whited out like Egypt, and then the black aboriginals were made strangers in their own land. The Japanese retain their same Ugandan names to this day, and thankfully, they and the Chinese are now finding out the similarity of languages, culture, and bloodline lineage. Same thing with many scholars in China. But Asian mulattoes are more zealous racists than the Europeans, and this woman who claims to want race unity but is creating racial injustice instead. No one wants that evil done to him to be swept under the rug as a solution for the evil. No one. When these Germanic people went to conquer the black people thousands of years ago, they used many words often repeated to keep the minds of their soldiers in full hate of the black man. The only thing they hated as much as the black man was women on a whole, including their own mothers, and they sold even their mothers to Egyptian pharaohs when they felt like it. If a man died and his wife had a 6-year-old son, that woman would have to obey that boy. This was then the white man's mindset. They had words often repeated to say that food got spoiled if a black man looked at it, and to kill a black man, you need not worry, for it was no sin at all. Was that just recent, or was that thousands of years ago? So, how the F does this white woman calculate her reasoning and say that it did not exist until now? How? Was 2,000 years ago later than the period of slavery that still prevails? Explain. It was consistent across the millenniums, but she said it was recently invented on some slave plantation. And she also said that the Indians are different from the black aboriginals, which is far from the truth. The only Indians ever in the first place were the Aboriginals, the Aboriginals of Australia, those of India, including those that escaped to the West Indian, all tribes and nations having different features of height and body types were all dark-skinned people. This is why the white man called the Indians nigger before he used that word to the black Americans. The population of Indians were always that hue across the spectrum of red and dark clay colors. Those Indians that appear white are from white people, not indigenous, ravaging their women by force. That's why they look like that. Then they named the Bible after their testaments, those evil people. At the time that they established the system of slavery in the West, they had already been utilizing the divisive race methods in the East. When the Europeans did not want to enslave the Bible people, Bartholomew de las Casas, Christopher Columbus' brother, who was a great power in the Catholic Church, came out to assure them that the blacks were soulless savages fit for slavery and that the slavery would civilize them. This changed their minds. When the rebellions became so powerful because of the united front of black and white working together, they went and applied the race division strategies as were also and always applied in the East. There was racism in the world the very day the white man arrived, for he was taken by natural selection and incubated in the Mittani region, void of true knowledge and history about himself, so he could be divisive and hold enmity against the human race. He was chosen and incubated to be a new race, dividing the united human population on behalf of dark powers that really don't care about race. Race is their utility. The white man was given the position of house slave and a superficial sense of importance. He cannot even see how little he is given, and he foolishly believes that the evil elite care about him because of his race. Would you care about your children and turn them into thieves? If so, you would destroy them all. Please do like, subscribe, and share this video. Peace out.